So what happens that every year there is an intergovernment multi-stakeholder engagement which is called the Africa Forum for Sustainable Development. This is a mandated forum mandated by the UN to be able to review and assess the progress on the 17 goals. We have 17 goals, but for this year this forum is focusing on goal number 3, goal number 5, goal number 8, and goal 14 and 17. We are doing an assessment of how far we've gone. I think as a country, we've made substantial progress. I think that's something that we can say. I mean, on the goal, say on gender and equality, we've made progress. If you look at the key positions in this country, we have women that are in leadership. We have women that are leading the parliament. We have the women a speaker. We have a vice president who's a woman. When you look at the permanent secretaries, we have about 16 women out of the 31. So in a way, yes, in terms of presence and in terms of strategic engagement, we are delivering on that. But of course, we still have a long way to go. We don't want women just to occupy spaces. We want women to be involved in strategic decisions. On the aspect of education, we still have made a progress. So one can say that yes, we've made a progress on all these goals, but perhaps we are not where we should be. But this is not only unique to Uganda, it's also a number of other countries. We are not where we should be. And perhaps to be brutally honest, I don't think that in the next 5 years left to 2030, we will be there. But why are we not where we should be? I think as a country, we've not been able to invest sufficient resources in terms of providing public services. And one can actually say, why are we not investing these resources? As a country, you know that we also under quite a huge debt stress. And a lot of the money that is actually collected from domestic revenue corrections, these are resources that then are taken for debt repayment, instead of being used to construct a health center instead of going to construct a classroom block, instead of doing all these other things. And so we have that. We're not investing quite substantially. But also on the other side, we have our friends in the north who are perhaps contributing the largest in terms of climate abuse. We are in a situation of a climate chaos, a climate crisis. And because what are also not getting them to pay the fair share of the climate financing, which would then need to be able to address some of these aspects that lead to environment degradation. And there could be a couple of other things. Why are we having floods in this country? Maybe also because we're not doing good planning. So there are multiple hindrances that bring us to where we are. We cannot say that we are on track. We are not on track. Unless a miracle happens, we can't say that we're going to be able to achieve the goals, but broadly, we are making substantial progress.
In terms of gender, one of the things that has been an impediment to achieving is the question of affirmative action. That when you look at the electoral representation, and now I am in my field, if you look at the representation of women in parliament, majority of them are coming on the affirmative action seat. That because we have women MP representatives for each of the 146 districts in Uganda, so we have a woman in parliament. If you take away that affirmative action, if you take away woman district women representative, then we will have only 10 women in parliament because they're the only ones who came on the constituency MP. Now, let me even break it down for you a bit further. When you go to the LC5 chairpersons, we only have 2 women LC5 chairpersons. And how many men? The rest of them, because the districts are 146, and every district has a male chairperson. So they were talking about the place of the man. When you look at gender and you go for gender studies, you will realize that women are still constructed in a particular way. There is a place for a man, there is a place for a woman, and gender roles are still defined in that way. In the private, you see me, Charity, I'm standing here on a TV today talking to people, very empowered. And when I go home, I have gender roles that still fall on me and sometimes will fail me to even appear in the public spectrum. I will fail to show up top night shows like Behind the Headlines at 10 p.m., which is going to end at midnight. But any man, anytime will wake up, put on his suit and go and appear for that show and then return home. And he will have no one to answer to, where are you coming from? But me, I have to answer, I have to state, where am I going to sit on that TV set? And then when I'm back, how come it is 2 o'clock and you're just coming back at 2 o'clock? You see? So the gender roles are still real.